Good morning, Academy 55. Debbie Khan here on Wednesday, the 20th of August, 2025. It's now 5 to 8 in the morning here in the UK. Looking at the EUR USD on the 1 minute time frame following the Academy 55 indicators and strategy on the 1 minute time frame. Yeah, I did say that. Well, what can we see? Well, our old friend sideways movement is back again. But we're going to have a look at the bigger picture. First, we're going to take the indicators off and we're going to go on to the daily time frame to have a look at the bigger picture. And as we can see, the last 3 days, euro has been falling. And that's because the general consensus is because of a thing called the Jackson Hole Symposium, where bankers from all over the world meet. The dollar is getting stronger on the back of that. And because the dollar is getting stronger, that means the euro is getting weaker. So we'll bear that in mind. The bigger picture is the euro is getting weaker, as you can graphically see here. So that's what's going on the daily. Moving over to the 4-hourly, we can see that in more minute detail. This time, though, it's we're thinking about it. Big indecision candle here on the 4-hourly. And indeed, what happens during the Asian session, like this is all the Asian session here, sometimes the London session we see a little bit more of a climb. So we could expect that. But what we'll do is we'll put the line chart on and see if there's any lines that we need to be looking. And right away we can see one here. Right here, we got resistance, resistance, kind of resistance, and resistance there as well. And this is where we are at the moment. So is it going to bounce down to here or break? We don't know. And this level down here is a fairly strong area because it held its position for 4 hours along that line and it became resistance there. So we'll mark that up. So these are areas of interest to look at, why price could be stalling or bouncing or breaking. These are areas of interest to look at. Nothing to worry about, really, from your point of view. But we'll go down to the hourly. And we can mark, right, we'll mark that area up there on the smaller time frame. Because this has been an area of resistance here, but an area of support here. So we'll mark that up. But the general consensus is that the euro is going down as the dollar strengthens. So we'll be primarily looking for sells. Nevertheless, we'll put our candles back onto the 5-minute time frame. And we will mark our zones up. There's that support and resistance levels, but mark the zones up so we get our horizontal ray. This is our sell zone here. And this is our all-important buy zone. If we go back onto the hourly again, like I said before, this is all what we call the Asian session from midnight, and it has been selling, but now we're having a bit more of a climb. So in the short term, maybe the London session is all about the buying power of the euro. And we have, going back on the hourly, I noticed we got a an FVG, fair value gap, just here. So that's the nearest one. No buying power that side of the candle, no buying power that side of the candle. So there is a fair value gap. Price one might want to go and tap into that one before coming back down again. And then, but we got a sell zone there, which is problematical. And we've got a sell zone up here as well. So makes for maybe tricky trading. But nevertheless, we are going to put our indicators back on. We had a buy over here at 7:30 this morning. Price was in the buy zone. So if you were around at 7:30 this morning, keep a mirror 2.2 pips away, which is there. That's where the stop loss will be, where the red wave meets the green, but you wouldn't have got into it until there, which would make that the stop loss will be there 3.9 pips away, which drags your 2 to 1 up to there. And as you can see, we're not near there at the moment, because you wouldn't be getting into that trade there, because the red line is still red, turns to green there, so that's where you would have got in. You could have possibly got in there, I would suggest, at the bottom of that spike. And if you'd have done that, then that means your 2 to 1 would be there, in which case you would have been in and out of that trade with your 2%, and you would have been cool. So that would be technically a winner, because the price went into the 5-minute time frame. So, but now see how it's reacting off this support and resistance line, bouncing, or wanted to stay along there, bounce, 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 waiting for enough volume to break through it, perhaps, where there is a sell zone here. And are there a lot more orders to take? We don't know. Excuse me, I'll just open the window. Getting rather humid here. The southwest of the UK, Cornwall, that's where I live. Brewing up to be quite a nice day. So, and indeed we are, it did say the dollar was getting weaker, but as with anything on any time scale, the market moves in waves like a roller coaster, and these are called Elliott waves. And we've got to have a little bit of a buy before another sell, but indeed a sell, looking at the longer term, is what we're looking for, which will be fine because we're entering a sell zone. But is price wanting to tap into this imbalance here? We've got Euro news at 10 o'clock. Another 2 hours away yet. So, depending on the strength and depth of that news, how important it is for the euro. If they think it's going to be big news, but they don't know which way is going to be good or bad, we may see this situation until 10 o'clock. All depends on what they disseminate the news to be. If it's not so important, then we will see a little bit more of a climb, perhaps getting into these imbalance areas. Nice to see so many people on this morning, and we'll be having a good day. So we're officially into sell zone area now, which is okay because our next alert will be a sell alert because we've got sell, buy. It's got to be a sell, and this will be the scenario for the actual sell. Minimum 2.2 pips away. That's where I'll be, assuming, but it won't be like that because that's a strong wave now, so we expect it to climb a little bit more, maybe. It's just beginning its buying power again, so I wouldn't be surprised if it taps into this at least, or bounces off that support and resistance line yet again before reacting and coming down. Maybe. We don't know. But that's a scenario that I wouldn't be surprised if it happens. Not to say it will happen, but wouldn't be surprised. So, just wanted to show you a minute and a half real-time video of what trading I did yesterday at 2:30 in the afternoon. So have a look at this. It's only a minute and a half long. Good morning, David Kahn here on Tuesday, the 19th of August. It's 2025. It's 5 minutes past 9. No, sorry, that is not the video. Where's the video that I had? Oh, there we go. Sorry, this is the video. Yesterday afternoon. Hello, this is David Kahn here for Academy 55 on Thursday, the 14th of August, 2025. No, I do apologise. I messed that up completely. Should have rehearsed this, shouldn't I? Nevertheless, that's okay. We won't do that then. Sorry about that. Should really. Hang on. Let's just this one. Hello, David Kahn here on Tuesday. No, I've completely messed up. My bad. But that's okay. So, tell you what, one thing we will play, and this is this one, Steve, with some reminders.
Hi, this is Steve with a very short video to show you where to get the training for the indicators and tools we use inside Academy 55. So once you're logged into the members area, you'll see in the premium dashboard this section that's entitled Start Learning. And if you click here, that'll take you through to the learning library. Now, we'll say at this point, we highly recommend you watch each of these videos 2 or 3 times to get a full understanding of how everything works. Here you'll find tutorials on using the MT4 Trade Assistant and how to use the MT4 platform with the Trade Assistant. This is the longest video you'll find inside the platform. It's around 30 minutes long. well worth your time. Watch the video once, then maybe write a few questions down that you might have for yourself, and watch the video for a second time, and things will really start to make sense. By the time you watch it 3 times, you'll fully understand how everything works. So that's the longest video. It's about 30 minutes long, well worth your time. And then you can jump into individual trainings here for how to remove indicators. These videos are just a couple of minutes long. How to move MetaTrader around like you can in TradingView, trading assistant controls, how to do back testing in TradingView, how to draw vertical lines to mark out your hour, and so much more. And by the time you watch this video or see this video, there might be other trainings in this section. But everything here is well worth your time, and you find that, as I said a moment ago, from the main dashboard in the Start Learning section. Now, one more thing just to mention here. If you're looking for anything in particular, if you come down to the support name of FAQs, click on Get Support, and in this area you'll find a detailed FAQ section, and you can come through here. For example, if you're looking for an answer to a question about MetaTrader, have a look through these, and once you click through you'll find direct links to videos that give you answers to most of the questions that we get asked on a regular basis. So hopefully you found this useful, and back to your further training.
Thank you, Steve. Right, in the meantime, I have found the video that I was looking for, because I posted it inside our Facebook group, the Academy 55 Facebook group, so I'll get it from there anyway. So this is what happened yesterday. Using the indicators at a certain time of the day is key for consistently 2% on my account achieved in less than 2 minutes. So this is what happened. This is all real time after 2:30 on the US 100. Waiting for the price to get down onto the exit, and then we're down to the trend line where the price is right now. When my stop loss gets down to that area, I shall be putting it in for a sell. It's gone a long way already, and here we are in the sell. And let's see what happens with this. We've got a lot of volume coming in for the sell. I'm nearly 2,000 units, which is equivalent to 2 pips away. And let's just see what happens with this. Yeah, it's as you can see, once 2:30 is kicked in, after 2:30 in the UK, the volume really kicks in for the US 100, because the stock exchange is now open. So that's, and as you can see, the candles are 4 or 5 times bigger than where they have been. And hopefully we're going to be achieving enough volume for a classic 2%. This happens a lot of the days at 2:30 now, so this is my favourite time of the day for the NAS 100 certainly. So let's just see. We're getting really close now. A nice final push, and we're there. And another 2%. Thanks very much for watching. Speak soon. And indeed, there we go. That's what happened yesterday afternoon. As you can see from that video, the volume dramatically increases after 2:30 on the US 100 because of the opening of the New York Stock Exchange. And once the US 100 goes, it really, most of the time, it really does go. And you get your outcomes very, very quickly. Like you say, 1.5 minutes. Sounds a bit strange, really, when sometimes we wait for over an hour. But that's by the by. It doesn't really. The process is still the same, whether you wait over an hour for your 2% or 1.5 minutes. Thanks to the Academy 55 indicators, it tells you where to put your stop loss, where to get in, and indeed where to get out, i.e. 2%. And with the back testing we've done, we found it's been pretty good. But we're now in the sell zone. I showed you all this really because there is not a lot happening as far as the EUR USD. Some people say, well, why don't you look around at other Forex pairs? Well, we know they work with other Forex pairs, but the EUR USD is what we've done, based all the backtesting on. It's the most consistent. That's when I was first starting with this um, whole format, specifically on the 1 minute. And it was the most consistent. And we choose the EUR USD for its nice, smooth action. Now, the fact we only want 1 or 2 trades a day also helps. We don't need to go and search other places, and where it might be deemed more risky to do so. As new people and intermediates alike, if you get to see a one pair, i.e. the EUR USD in this instance, and concentrate on that and get a feeling for the way it works and what it's capable of doing and times of the day in the longer term, then that is going to be a lot better for you to concentrate on, and you'll be doing that with any system that you want to use. And a lot of people chop and change a lot because they basically haven't got the patience to, if, like, for example, the EUR USD ran into a bad time of the year or the month, whatever, which can happen. So you might get like, say you've got 3 or 4 losers on the bounce. Oh, this doesn't work. No, it's just your inability to recognize the fact that it is a bad time. And because we've got such a low monthly target to go for, just recognize that and then keep an eye on it and come back when you can pull 2 or 3 winners together on the bounce, and then you know that that bad time that you are having is hopefully gone, and then you can start all over again. It does happen, especially I had a really bad instance back in April 2024 where we only got 1% profit for the year, so for the month of April, because, and retrospectively, April is a time when budgets have started the financial year, budgets are being formed, budgets are being diminished. So logically, prices all over the place, and it wasn't conducive really to the Academy 55 indicators. But we still managed to turn a profit, even though it was only 1%. 1% is better than a poke in the eye. But like as I said earlier on, it looks pretty much that price is going to maybe come up to here before turning, maybe, or at least, yeah. So we'll have a look on the 5 minute time frame. Take the indicators off. See, this support and resistance line was pretty important earlier on, even on the 5 minute. Bouncing or breaking, so, and that's yes, another sell zone. So we'll mark that up. And this is where we might get the turnaround. I do away with that former sell zone. Not too confused. Keep your charts clean as you can, so you don't get confused what's going on. But we formed imbalance here now on this candle, this previous 5-minute candle. And indeed, we've got imbalance here that needs to be addressed. So there are reasons for price to want to get down again. Well, as we know, we've got a bigger imbalance up here. Will they want to get to that imbalance before sorting that out, or sort that out first? And all depending on the news at 10 o'clock, of course. But and of course, we've got imbalance here. Look on this candle here on the 5-minute time frame. So I wouldn't be surprised if price does go and check that out, because this news, if it's heavy news, that news could draw a spike and do all that and fill that that imbalance in one fell swoop. Could do at 10 o'clock. We don't know. Things like that do happen. That's how they move price to where they need to move it, disguise it in a news item, and then they can reset, and then they can find out whether the dollar is at that time, if the dollar is still gaining strength, and if it does, the euro will come down here or climb back up again at that time. But regardless of that, we only want a small bit of it, so we will put our this is what the scenario we're looking at. So in the meantime, we will show you this from Steve. This is important information.
Hi, this is Steve, and in this short video I'm going to just show you the settings for the trade assistant to make sure that you've got the minimum 2-pip stop loss on the Euro USD or any currency pair, and how you set it for if you're trading a commodity like the US 100, because the settings are slightly different. So here you can see we're on the Euro USD chart here. I've got my risk to reward on the trade assistant locked at 2-to-1. I've got my risk balance at 1%. Lot calculator is on, and my little purple button here between the buy and sell is also activated. So we're ready to bring the trade assistant onto the chart. Now you'll notice here that we've got the stop loss set at 20. That indicates 2 pips when you're on a currency pair. And we can actually change that here by typing over it. So if I type in there 40 and just tab off here, you can see now we've got a stop loss of 4 pips because we're on a currency pair. In this example, it's Euro USD, but it could be Euro GBP or any currency pair. So let's just put that back to 20 for our 2 pips. We'll click off here, and now we'll just put the lines on so that you can see that is showing us 2 pips over here on the actual tool, ready to actually get involved with a trade if that's what we were going to do. But that's not what we're here for now. I'm going to click off the lines here, and what we're going to do is we're going to change our chart from Euro USD to US 100, and I can do that by dragging it onto the screen here. You'll see it now switch over to US 100. And now you can see that stop loss says 20, and that's wrong for a commodity. So what we want to do here is come in here and type 2000. This is the equivalent of 2 pips on a commodity such as US 100. So now when I put the lines on, you'll see we've got the number 2000 here, and if I just zoom around, you'll notice the 2-to-1 still applies, 2000 and 4000 here, where we've got a $1,000 trade in place, risking $1,000 to win $2,000. So that's the number that you need to get your 2 pip minimum on. So the minimum number would be 2,000. You could have anything above that if you're on a commodity like US 100, and the number will be 20, which is 2 pips equivalent if you're on a currency pair such as Euro USD. Hopefully you found this useful, and thanks very much for watching.
Yeah, thank you very much, Steve. We've got a wealth of training videos in the back of the Academy 55 back office for you to watch. And thanks to Steve for making most of those. Very invaluable they are too. But this is the scenario now that we are on the EUR USD today at 26 minutes past 8 in the morning here in the UK. We're now tapping into this sell zone. Like I say, I wouldn't be surprised if price gets into this area here or even that area there, continuing the buy that we had earlier on at 7:30 this morning. By the way, if anybody was on that, congratulations. But you should be now on a watching brief. Having done your 2% for the day. And the reason we do that is part of your mindset is because people need targets to go for, because otherwise you just keep going and going and going. It's like a gambler. They keep betting and betting and betting, and eventually the gambler, the bookmaker always wins. Well, not always, but 95 to 99% of the time they win. Never see a poor bookmaker, and you'll never see a poor broker, because if you don't have a target to go for, then you just keep going and going and going, and greed sets in. Then once that happens, subconsciously you lose your discipline. You lose your discipline, yeah. And then you subconsciously can change the conditions of the trading, saying, for example, you might have been getting in there, but the trend line was still facing down and not looking to go green. And then that could have been a riskier trade. This time it wasn't, but it could have been. Like there, for example, you could have been, oh, we're getting in because we've got a sell alert. And as you can see, you would have been taken out. And that's what greed could do, change you're no longer part of the strategy, because that's an entirely different strategy that obviously doesn't work. Just wait for a sell alert and get in. And greed could tempt you to do that, you know? So that's why we only go for 1 or 2 trades a day, because it gets exactly what we need. And you're also in a nice relaxed state, which is what you need to be as well. But at the moment we are in another sell zone, so we are officially waiting for the next sell. We have to be patient. We know we have some imbalances that need sorting out down here, which is good for us because our 2% is in the way of that. But that doesn't mean to say that they're going to do that in one fell swoop. But it gives you a bit of a confirmation that price will will get down to these levels here at some stage. Hopefully, they'll get down to the stage that we wanted to get down during our trade. But as you know, it doesn't always work like that. Like that. But we also know that because price went into the sell zone, and we're looking for the next sell, we also know through strenuous backtesting for the last 18 months now that we have a more than 75% win rate chance of it actually succeeding once we wait for red trend, red volume, red wave, parallels are above price, and a nice sell alert. We know we've got a 75% chance of that happening, so we know the odds are more than in our favor of doing so. But we have to be patient and wait for things to pan out. For those watching on our YouTube channel, just posted a webinar, so you can go and watch our recorded webinar and find out a lot more about our Academy 55 group, the indicators and how it all started and all that good stuff. So just posted the link there for you to go and watch if you want to do so. And also, if you have any questions, please write them in below, and I will certainly endeavor to answer those questions while we've got a bit of time while we're waiting. Also, for our Academy 55 members who are watching, I've opened up the group chat because they're in the room with me. So if they've got any questions about what they've seen here today, please write them in the group chat in our Zoom room, and it's the same. I'll endeavor to answer those while we wait. But now we're going sideways for a little while, picking up orders, and obviously if we have sell orders, we'll go. But if there's going to be more buy orders, then we will probably see, well, we will see the euro climb a bit higher. But this is the scenario for the sell. So I'm going to get my MT4 ready. As you can see, the indicators are already set up for me. The Academy 55 indicators are already set up on my MT4. And I'm keeping a minimum of 2.2 pips away. So I turn the lines on and use the trade assistant, which is invaluable, making sure my risk to reward is in purple. My lot calc is in purple. I've got the all-important 1% risk. Parallels are now just flipped above price, but we've got to wait for all these to turn green before we endeavor to, and of course the big sell alert. We'll endeavor for all that to turn red before we take a sell. But indeed, feels like there's a few sell orders, obviously. But we got to be patient and wait. Wait for this green trend line here to at least go to, like, if you can imagine a clock face. At the moment, it's pointed to like 2 o'clock. Wait for it to go to at least 3 o'clock and turn red. All these to go red as well, the volume ribbon and the wave. And that's where I want my stop loss ultimately on there. Why we use TradingView is to show you guys is because MT4 isn't that, it's all right, but it's not very pliable to manipulate around the screen for visual purposes. And where price is now, that's where I want my stop loss, but I've got to wait for all these, be patient and wait for all these to turn red. And of course the big sell alert, if it does happen. I suspect volume will not be that high, maybe in the next hour or so, because we've got Euro news at 10 o'clock. So maybe the investors might not want to jump in unless they can determine what the news is all about. Whether there's going to be good or bad news for the euro against the dollar. But we just got to sit and wait. I'll just flip over to TradingView quickly and adjust that. See, things are starting to level off now. But because we are, oh, right, we've got a bit more of a buying power now. So we just got to be patient and wait, basically. Right, we've got the candle is breaching the wave, which is good. So we got some momentum to carry on down. The volume ribbon has just started to turn red. The parallel SAR is above price. The trend line is facing 3, so we could anticipate that going red at any time, really. So if price carries on down to this level down here, we could be in for a sell, because the sell alert will probably appear once that happens. Me, I'm in no rush to trade, nor should you, nor should anybody really. I've 6%, 6.4%, I believe it is, towards my monthly target. So I'm not, as always, not wishing to take any trades on a whim, waiting for the conditions what I feel to be right before taking a trade. Right, the wave has just started to turn red. That little dot there is the wave that's just started to turn red, and that is where I want to put my stop loss, but we haven't got a sell alert yet. Right, that's where I want my stop loss, and indeed we have got a sell alert now. But I want a little bit more confirmation. So I possibly won't go in till about 3%, 3 pips distance between stop loss and entry. Indeed, that sell is painting off and on. And the trend line is still green, but you can see it could go red at any time, as well as the sell alert. It's all heading the right way. But I want a little bit more of a sell before getting in. Things are on the cusp. It's a good word, isn't it? Cusp. But I'm being nice and calm and relaxed about things. And at the same time, got my finger over on the sell button and not wishing to jump in. Because at the moment, this is imbalanced on this candle here. And that could be just filling that in before carrying on back up again. But I've seen enough. I am indeed getting in now. And this is where I am. The trend line's turned red. Got a nice sell alert. The thing now is, will price bounce or break off the purple line here? Hopefully there'll be enough volume to carry on down. Let's just quickly go over to trading view. It won't change anything at all. And this is where we are. How many pips am I away actually? 3.1 pips. So I'll amend that on the 3.1, which is there. So indeed, that's where I am. Brings my 2% down to there. So as you notice, we got a support and resistance line there, right on the purple line. So there's a double fence for price to get over. If indeed we get that far. We've got imbalance. No, we haven't. Sorry, because of that wick there. But we've got imbalances down here, which is good for us. We'll have to wait and see. I'm resigned to a 1% loss or a 2% gain, whatever will be, which is no big deal whatsoever. I'm indeed going to go silent at the moment until anything happens. There's no questions at the minute, so we'll just watch this play out, see what happens. Right, we're getting to a point now. Is it bouncing or breaking off the purple line? I hope there's enough volume involved. We can actually go through that, but it's an important area because that's where price likes to be. This is the EMA 462. This is a Fibonacci number. And basically, this is 462 of these 1 minute candles. This is the average. So it wouldn't be surprised if it goes there. Like I say, at the time when it reaches there, we hope there's enough volume to actually break to go down to these levels here for us. But sometimes it bounces, shoots back up again. But like I say, we're fully in touch with the possibilities and not panicking at all about any of this, because we know we in the long term, with the back testing and everything else, everything's fine. And just have and for an example, we know we have Euro news at 10 o'clock. But if this was like at the moment, it's 7 minutes to 10 here in the UK, 7 minutes to 9, sorry. But if it was 7 minutes to 10 and we knew we had high impact news, I would be looking to take my little bit of a profit, or maybe taking my stop loss to my, well, not now. I'd be looking to do that with 2 minutes to spare. But we're not in any high impact news for another hour and 5 minutes, well, hour and 6 minutes yet. So we'll let it. Hopefully, we'll be done by then anyway. You never know. I'll leave this running like this to its conclusion, one way or the other. That's a good sign. We've got a little bit of volume coming in, pushing past the purple line, which seems to be quite good. Let's hope that continues. But like I said, I'll go on silent now. Obviously, if there's any questions, I will come back on and we'll let it play out one way or the other. And there you go. That's a sign of oh wow, there we go. So 5 to 9, we had some major investment coming in and took us out of that trade, which is very unfortunate. But that's trading, and that's what happens. We had no sign of anything like that happening. Let's just double check. This is trading, but we had a 1% loss, which is not a big deal. As you saw, everything was see, as far as I can tell, we got some Greek news. Well, it's not even 9 o'clock yet. So we had no news to tell us something like that would happen. But indeed, as we know, it did happen. And unfortunately, yeah, we just have to take it on the chin and come back stronger. Maybe one more time today if the conditions are right. If not, come back again tomorrow. But so I'd like to thank you all for being here today. Do appreciate it. And tomorrow I'm on at 7 o'clock in the evening because we've got a lot of high impact news on tomorrow morning for the Euro. So I'll be coming back at 7 o'clock tomorrow evening, UK time. So hopefully see you guys then. So thanks very much for watching and have a great day. Cheers for now.